Let us start today's important current affairs. ISRO is set to launch SpaceX mission on December 30th using PSLV C-60 rocket from Satish Dhawan Space Center, Sriharikota. The mission aims to develop and demonstrate critical in-space docking technology, a key step in advancing India's space exploration ambitions. The PSLV C-60 rocket, fully integrated up to the PS4 stage, was moved to the first launch pad on December 21st for final integration of satellites and launch preparations. ISRO has also shared a fast time lapse video of this integration in its Twitter X account. The space docking experiment is a groundbreaking mission by ISRO aimed at developing autonomous space docking technology. The mission involves PSLV C-60 as a launch vehicle to demonstrate in-space docking technology using two small spacecrafts, Chaser SDX-01 and Target SDX-02. SpaceX, a cost-effective technology demonstrator, will showcase in-space docking by deploying two small spacecrafts. These spacecrafts will be launched into 470 km circular orbit at a 55-degree inclination with a local time cycle of about 66 days. The mission is a significant step towards India's space aspirations, including missions like Indian Moon Mission, Lunar Sample Return, development of Bharatiya Antariksham Station. In-space docking technology is vital for multi-launch missions that require SpaceX to rendezvous, dock and undock the orbit. NASA makes history as spacecraft survives closest ever approach to Sun. Very important news. NASA's Parker Solar Probe has created history after it made its closest ever approach to the Sun, becoming the first man-made object to do so. NASA's Parker Solar Probe is the closest ever to approach the Sun. It is the first man-made object to go such closer to the Sun. NASA shared an update about the Parker Solar Probe and stated that the spacecraft is safe and operating normally after completing the closest ever approach to our home star. According to US Space Agency NASA, the probe has transmitted a beacon tone back to Earth after its recording breakthrough closest approach of the Sun, indicating good health of the spacecraft. So, it has sent a siren also, beacon tone. Next, Reserve Bank of India announced setting up of 8-member panel to develop a framework for responsible and ethical enablement of artificial intelligence in the financial sector. It is going to be headed by IIT Bombay Professor Pushpak Bhattacharya, and this will give a report within 6 months about ethical use of AI with respect to financial institutions including banks, NBFCs, fintechs and PSOs, public sector organizations. And more importantly, AICTE, All India Council for Technical Education, also declared artificial intelligence as the 2025 as the year of artificial intelligence. India is now pondering about ethical use of AI, ethical use of artificial intelligence. This concept is coming up. Year 2025 is the year of AI, according to AICTE. China approves world's largest dam over Brahmaputra River in Tibet. It's a big news that is coming up. China approves world's largest dam over Brahmaputra River in Tibet. India, Bangladesh expressed their concern. China has approved the construction of the world's largest dam over the Brahmaputra River in Tibet, and it is considered as the world's biggest infra project, costing $137 billion, $137 billion on the Brahmaputra River in Tibet, close to India border, raising concerns to riparian states, India and Bangladesh. The Chinese government has approved the construction of hydropower project in the lower reaches of Yarlung Zangpo River, the Tibetan name of Brahmaputra. The dam is to be built at a huge gorge in Himalayan reaches where Brahmaputra River makes a huge U-turn to flow into Arunachal Pradesh and then to Bangladesh. The total investment in the dam is going to be $137 billion, which would dwarf any other project in the world, including China's own Three Gorges Dam, which is till now regarded as the largest dam in the world. China is building a very big bridge over Brahmaputra, very big dam over Brahmaputra river in Tibet. Next, you all know Morocco is a country. So, in the international language, state means country. Okay, still I'll tell you. Morocco is a country in Africa. Morocco aims to grant more rights to women over child custody and guardianship, as well as women can now question and stop their polygamous marriage. What is polygamy? Having many wives. These marriage reforms in Morocco also aims to simplify and shorten divorce procedures, considers child custody a shared right between spouses. You all know that Yemen is a small country in Arabian Peninsula. Now it is facing cholera crisis. Yemen accounts for 35% of global cholera cases, according to WHO. War-torn Yemen. You all know Houthi rebels also belong to Yemen. War-torn Yemen is suffering from an epidemic of cholera. The country, located in the southwest of the Arabian Peninsula, reported nearly 250,000 suspected cases and 861 associated deaths as of December 1st, accounting for 35% of worldwide cholera cases and 18% of related deaths in this year. According to WHO, Yemen singly accounts for 35% of global cholera cases. So, this is very, very pathetic and bad. Madras High Court have taken suo motu cognizance of Anna University sexual assault case. A second-year engineering graduate of Chennai's Anna University was allegedly raped on the campus on the evening of 23rd December, triggering an outrage over safety of women and blame games. The incident came into light after the survivor lodged a police complaint on 24th December. The accused, Gnana Shekaran, a 37-year-old with a criminal history, was arrested. Now, the Madras High Court has stepped into the controversy surrounding the sexual assault case, taking suo motu cognizance of the issue. So, what do you mean by suo motu cognizance? Court have taken the issue on its own, by its own, without any report. Court directly have taken the cognizance without any complaint. That's called suo motu. Germany President dissolved parliament, sets national election for February 23rd. German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier ordered parliament dissolved and set new elections for February 23rd in the wake of collapse of Chancellor Olaf Scholz's coalition, saying it was the only way to give the country stable government capable of tackling its problems. Russia declares federal emergency over Black Sea oil spill. Russia declared a federal emergency over an oil spill caused by 2 Russian tankers in the Black Sea. The decision comes a day after southern Krasnodar region declared a regional state emergency amid cleaning up of efforts from local authorities. So, oil spilling is the biggest thing. You know, whenever any big ship carries an oil, sometimes if there is a leak, that spilled oil will form like a layer on the top of the river or the sea, and it will cause damage to the environment and also aquatic creatures, marine creatures, and also for freedom of navigation. So, we have to clean up that oil spill. South Korean parliament votes to impeach acting president Han Duck-soo. South Korean lawmakers impeached the acting president as the country struggles to shake off political turmoil sparked by his predecessor declaration of martial law. South Korean parliament yesterday voted to impeach acting president Han Duck-soo. So, it's a very big political crisis in South Korea. Now, center approves construction of Rashtriya Smriti in Delhi for last rites of national leaders. A day after the death of former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, the central government has reportedly approved the proposal of constructing a Rashtriya Smriti at the Samadhi complex in the national capital Delhi. This dedicated space will serve as a venue for performing the last rites of national leaders, including incumbent and former presidents, vice presidents, prime minister, and other dignitaries, as decided by the cabinet.